Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Wednesday and it's 12 noon. And I am your host for the Noon Report, Dr. Ron. I'm glad to see you guys stop in and hang out with me for a few minutes. Man, I got some juicy stuff today, so you're in the right place. Before I get started, as always, I like to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life 30 plus years. And out of those 30 plus years, he has been a blessing to both me and my family. So I always like to talk about him because I want to encourage you to get a mentor. Anybody that does not have a mentor, you need to have one. And I want you to find someone that can be a blessing to you and your family, as well as you can be a blessing to him and his or her family. So think about it. Look around, see who's close in your circle, see who's somebody who's positive, uplifting, motivational, and can do the job of being a mentor in your life. So I just want to encourage you to get a mentor and then get a show so you can shout your mentor out. So, starting off today, the Noon Report, I've got a shout out I want to make to the Illinois Attorney General, Kwame Raoul. Kwame Raoul just put out a report on yesterday that was picked up and carried by most of the national news as well as the local news, where he talks about over 450 adult clergymen abused nearly 2,000 children in the state of Illinois over the period of almost 90 years, according to a report released Tuesday from the Illinois Attorney General. And in that report, he broke down every region of the state. This is from the top of the state to the bottom of the state, where he went through each and every situation and found clergy that were abusing children. Now, in the report, he also stated that a lot of these clergy have died, and there are those that have passed away, but they're offering relief to the 2,000 victims that they discovered that had been abused over these 90 years. That's 100 years almost of abuse from the Catholic Church and their members of authority. And that's just in the state of Illinois. Okay, so let's think about that for a second. What about worldwide? The Catholic Church is an entity all to itself. It has its own statehood, has its own money. It offers, um, whatever it offers. I don't even know because I've never been Catholic, so I don't know. Whatever it offers, it's not good to have some members, not all members, but some members of your organization abusing children and mostly little boys. Okay. So it's a very eye-opening, bit of information that if every state were to evaluate and do an in-depth deep dive on how the church has abused children, the numbers will probably be alarming and frightening. So I just want to see, some type of, deliverance come forth out of this. The people that have been abused, maybe the men that are doing this shouldn't be in a position where they have access. I know when a person has been declared a sex abuser or a pedophile in the community, he's not allowed around children. So it may be time for the Catholic Church to police its own self and deal with folks that have the tendency to want to do these type of things and don't all over the world abuse children just because you can. Now, in defense of other religious organizations, there have been Baptist churches and other religious organizations that have abused children as well. But the thing about that is they don't have the protection that the Catholic Church has had. The Roman Catholic Church, if a person has been found to have been abusing children, they disappear and then they relocate them to another area and then they do it again. Now, with Baptist churches, they don't have that ability to snatch them out of there and send them someplace else. Usually, the Baptist preacher will wind up in jail. Okay. And I'm just using that as an example because there are other religious organizations that also do the same thing, that have abuse with young children, young people. They abuse them, but they wind up being put in jail. Okay. So, I would hope that the Catholic Church deals with this situation to the point where we don't have any more abuse of children. Okay, let's just say it like that. Got some other things to talk about today. I want to talk about the debt ceiling again. Last week I talked about the debt ceiling, and we still do not have an agreement signed. It's interesting. Every Democrat has brought forth commentary to tell the American people that the debt ceiling is the debt that has already been incurred and is just owed. And according to the Republicans, they don't want to pay their bills. So, they had a bipartisan party of both Republicans and Democrats that wanted to enter a bill onto the floor that was equal to my suggestion. I made a suggestion on last week. If you don't um, want to negotiate, then, donate your check back to trying to help clear up the debt. And one of the Democrats had a press conference and said, well, if we don't reach an agreement, then we shouldn't take a paycheck either. So, I know that's important to them to want to get paid for screwing over the American people. So, what better job in the world, to screw over the American people when they get paid to do it. so, so it was brought up. And I mentioned it in my commentary on last week that they should donate their check back until the debt is completely cleared up. If that's such a big concern of saving money for the United States government, let's just do that. You give up your money until the debt is cleared up, and then you can take a check. That will make people work a little bit harder. So I thought that was interesting that there was a bipartisan bill that came forth that said, let's not take a check until we get this thing resolved. Now, it's a big press right now because we know the deadline is coming up on June the 1st where they will not be able to pay their bills. We also know that the public officials would like to go on holiday this weekend for Memorial Day. So all these people want to go home and have a barbecue, and because they know their check is good. But people like myself, who has Social Security, I don't know if my check is coming in this weekend. I have no clue. 31st is in the middle of the week, so they got a few more days to get this done. But I would like to see my check come in, just like I'm sure they're going to claim their check on payday. Okay, so it's interesting that I just wanted to mention that again, that the government is broken. And we, the people, need to voice our opinion and get these folks on the side of the people and not the side of the Republicans or their own party line that they're trying to hold. Another interesting fact that I wanted to touch on. Now, we know Donald Trump doesn't have control over his mouth. And it's so funny that on a week or so ago, when he did his press conference, and he had just lost a civil suit to Jean Carroll, and he was awarded $5 million, $3 million for her lawsuit. So now she's going back into court because Donald Trump has now slandered her again, and she wants to know, can she go back into court, amend her complaint, and get $5 more million. Now, Donald Trump is going to probably keep telling everybody, I don't know this woman, I ain't this, I ain't that, I ain't never slept with her. But he's already got to pay money for that same offense. And if he tries to appeal it, he probably will not win, because he's going to say something between now and then again that's going to be derogatory towards this young lady and cause him to have to pay more money. But the bill is interesting. It has the potential of going up. Now, I always like to talk about DeSantis, the governor of Florida. He gives me so much material to talk about. Ron DeSantis has now teamed up with Elon Musk to support him for his run for the presidency. Now, I find that quite interesting because we all know Elon Musk is a very selfish, has tons of money, and he's all about his own, what he can do for himself. So at this particular point in time, all I can see is that, Elon Musk feels like he's going to be able to back a candidate if he has a snowball chance in hell of winning. And then he'll have a president in his pocket, because Ron DeSantis is definitely up for sale. Okay. And Elon just feels like, okay, I can throw a couple of, $1 million into his campaign and I'm going to have me a president. And Ron DeSantis is so stupid. He doesn't even realize that Musk is in it for himself. He's not in it for him. Now, if you look at things, Ron DeSantis has totally ruined Florida. I mean, Florida used to be a nice vacation community. It was a nice place for people of seniors to go down and hang out. And this guy has totally, single-handedly, him and his Republican cronies, ruined the state of Florida. Let me explain to you why I come up with that conclusion. I got a couple other things that help support that, what I'm saying. He started messing with Disney about a year or so ago. Now, Disney is like, okay, we're not welcome in Florida anymore. No problem. They just canceled, Disney, a $1 billion development that they were going to build for corporate headquarters in Florida that would have employed over 2,000 people. They have now canceled the development. I think they're going to take it to California, but they have given up on developing anything in the state of Florida. See, so DeSantis has not made them feel welcome. They don't feel like they want to spend any more money. One of the biggest entities and industries in the country is Disney, and they got the money, and you're gonna go toe to toe with them like you want to fight them. Guess what? They'll close the whole thing down and leave out of the state. I believe that's going to be the next move. So if they're canceling developments and future projects, they'll sell the whole thing or walk away from it. And then Disney will not be one of the biggest entities in Florida. So if you just keep on picking at them, they're going to go. They have no reason to stick and stay in Florida if you're going to keep messing with them. So now, also, I came up with this information that was reported on this week as well. The NAACP, we all know who they are, have issued a warning: do not travel to Florida. So they are cautioning all people of color, Black, brown, African American, whatever you go by this week, to do not go to Florida. So don't take your money, don't take your tourist dollars, don't take your children down there. Don't send your kids to Florida to go to school. Avoid Florida. It's a warning now because of all the things that he has done with the school systems. He has made it impossible for people of color or any immigrant to want to be in the state of Florida. So he has attacked people to the point where now warnings are coming out. Now I understand it was a conversation I heard earlier this morning that all of the countries around the world are avoiding the United States. There's a warning issue. Don't travel to the US because it's not a safe place to be. So that packaged with what's going on in Florida, they are now worldwide not sending people here or allowing people to come here out of fear to the United States. So what does that say about the United States at this particular time? We are not on the safe travel list. Now I know there are places in the country, like they always like to pick on Chicago and make Chicago the poster child for all the crime in the world, but it's going on in every city. There's crime going on in LA. There's crime going on in New York. You got people getting killed and choked out in the subway, and these are civilians that are doing it, not even police. And then they're trying to pin a medal on the man's chest because they say he's a soldier and he knew how to choke the man and kill him. Not good, not good at all. So the United States is definitely, a very hostile place right now, and it's racially motivated. I listened to the candidate for the Republican Party from South Carolina say he wants to get in office so he can show the world that America is not racist. I don't know where he woke up at, but he didn't wake up in South Carolina, because South Carolina is not one of the, nicest place to go to. You could be standing on a street corner in South Carolina and get attacked by a mob of Europeans. Hello, just because of your skin color. America is not the poster child for come and let us be friends and welcome. They're still attacking the immigrants and the people that are trying to come across the border to better their lives. And America, just this week also, has such a high racial profile that there was a man in a pickup truck ran into the barricade at the White House with a Nazi flag in his pickup truck. Why did he do it? He said, I was coming to, kidnap the president and do some mean things to him because he likes black people or people of color or African Americans. He just wants to hurt them because of what the president is willing to do for somebody other than the Nazis or the skinheads or the Proud Boys. This racial thing has gotten out of control. So if there's not one thing I can tell you today, is please be careful out there. There are people that are insane. They got guns, they got weapons, and they got issues. They have problems with your skin color. They have problems with you, period, and they don't even know you. So this country, I understand why the NAACP is issuing, travel bans and warnings against places like Florida. There's so many others. There are places that you cannot go to without having some type of concern or fear that something may happen to you. And it could be from Europeans and or blacks. Okay. So we got a mentality of hurting people that's alive and well right now. And I just like to encourage folks to be careful. Be careful. I can't say it enough. That's all I have for today. I think I talked about enough and put some stuff on your mind. make you think about it a little bit because it's crazy out here, and I tell you, it's not getting any better. I don't know what it's going to take to make things get better, but it's definitely not getting better. So I want to encourage you all to, if you're thinking about getting a show here on Street News Now, we've had several people that have reached out to the administrative staff and are pursuing doing shows here on Street News Now. So if you're interested in doing a show here on Street News Now, don't delay. Go over to the Street News Now website, streetnewsnow.com. Fill out an application form. When you get over there, fill it out. Be sure and submit it. And administration will get back in touch with you to help you get your show lined up right here on the Street News Now network. I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, and share. Please tell somebody about the network. Please tell somebody about this show. I appreciate all those that have joined the network. Thank you so very much. Keep coming, keep liking, keep sharing. And we're doing our very best over here to try and keep you guys informed, informed on what's going on. So you definitely have to be aware of what's going on in this world. So that's it for this week. Mr. Lee Michaels is on assignment once again. Always have to give the creator of the network a shout out. Eventually, he's going to get back in here with me and leave his commentary on what we talk about. So I know you all miss Mr. Michaels. He will be back eventually. Like I said, he's out on assignment, and money talks, as Lee will say. Money talks, gotta go. So I understand totally where he's coming from. So you guys be safe. We will see you guys on next week. Come back and check me out right here on the Noon Report. And I look forward to seeing you all. You all stay safe, stay encouraged, and I will talk to you soon. Peace and love, y'all. Peace.